Hello friend, welcome back. You have been using SelectorsHub and SelectorsHub Pro for quite some time. So generally what we used to keep doing that, like generating the XPath, copying the selectors or writing there. But there are lots of amazing customization options are available both in SelectorsHub free version and the pro version. So here I will explain you guys those cool features which will help you guys to utilize it better and save more time and enjoy that kind of things, like what amazing things you can do in SelectorsHub. So let me just show you guys quickly. So the very first thing, I'm sure like pretty much everybody is using the SelectorsHub here just by clicking on the logo, or there might be a chance that you might be using it SelectorsHub in DevTools. So the very first thing is that, like, if you have it as a last option, you can always keep it, drag and drop as a, and keep it as a first option. And here same for like pro version, you can keep it either you can use it here or you can use it as a side panel here. Okay, now here uh, first I will show you in the free version that you have this click to customize UI, right? So here you just click on this and you will see that lots of options are available here, like for selectors and for the UI buttons. So any selectors which you are seeing right now here in the UI, let's say any of these you don't want to see, like for an example, like tag name is no use for you, but it is always appearing here. Tag name, absolute XPath, JS path and jQuery might not be useful for everybody, right? So in that case you can hide those selectors from the UI of the SelectorsHub, like whichever is not required and you want to see all those which are really required, which are really needful for you. In that case you can just keep them checked here, and now you will see that you will be having only those options here up front. And now if you inspect any element, like if you go to any page where you will see more options which are more useful for you, so you will be seeing those options here in the UI, not like any other thing which is not really required for you. Same way, if I again go back and suppose you don't need the partial link text or name, and you just want ID. Suppose you just need the, let's say, ID you need, relative XPath you need, you don't need test trigger path, index XPath, you need CSS selector, XPath, ID, and suppose you just need the name as well, and you want to remove rest of the things. Okay, in that case now you have only 4 selectors. If out of these 4 selectors is available for any particular element, and if you will inspect that element, if any of those will be available those it will show here. So like for example, for this element only these 2 selectors are available, that ID and name is not available, so it is not showing here. Now if we inspect any other element, and if any of those like will be available for that, then in that case it will show, otherwise it won't show. So like let me just inspect any element here. Okay, so the page is loading. So here you see that if we inspect any element, suppose we inspect the user email, so now you see that for this element CSS selector, relative XPath, ID and name is available, so all 4 are showing here. If any of these will not be available, then it will not show. So this becomes very simple and very easy for you guys, that you can just see only those selectors which is required for you. Good. Same for the uh, like UI button. If any of the UI button which you feel that not required or not useful for you, in that case you can hide those buttons as well. Like I'm sure you know that this plus button is required to save the selector which you are writing here. Like let's say you are writing your own XPath and you want to save this value for later use. In that case you can just click here and the value got saved here, right? Same way, like let's say you don't, and here you have this toggle button which is useful, like if you don't want to use these auto generator selector, you don't want to copy these, you just want to write your own XPath and CSS selector, you don't want to use these. So any of these UI button which are extra for you and you don't want to use them, in that case you have the option here, you see that. So here left auto suggest toggle, this one or this one you want to turn off. So this one, what it will basically do, like if you turn off this, you see that it has like made it hidden those auto generated selector. Now you can just use it as a simple editor, what you have like in DevTools, like Control F, you have it here, right? So it's a similar kind of thing that here you can make it like same as that, just that it has advantage of like getting better selectors. If any error you make, then you get the auto suggest and all, that exception handling. Then here you get this auto suggest while typing. So suppose you don't want this auto suggest as well, in that case you can just turn off this as well. So now both the toggles are turned off, and you can just simply, now it is exactly same like this controller, just that like it has a better feature that if you will make any mistake while writing the XPath, then it will give you the exception handling, like error handling, exact error message, as well as it will support the shadow DOM. You can verify the shadow DOM selectors, you can verify SVG, you can write SVG and all those things, and always get the correct information about your XPath and CSS selector. That's the reason you use this. So this, let's say you don't want these toggles and all here in the UI, in that case you go to setting and you see that here left auto suggest, this one you can remove this, you can remove this as well, right auto suggest. Suppose you don't write the case insensitive XPath, in that case you don't want to see this as well. SS selector is something like when you verify your XPath or CSS selector there in SelectorsHub, it used to suggest a better CSS selector for your XPath. In that case you don't want to see that as well. Like let me show you that what is that. So suppose you are writing this one, okay, so you see every time you see a CSS selector here generated for your XPath, so that is a SH selector, but you don't want this suggestion from SelectorsHub. In that case you can keep it off. And here you see that here you have this debugger time as well, start time. So suppose you are using SelectorsHub debugger here to inspect any dynamic element, and if that element you are not able to make visible within 5 seconds, in that case you can change this time as well, like debugger start time. So for an example, if you are on any page and you are inspecting any of these elements here, okay, or you type here something, so you see that these inspected elements comes, and when you right click, immediately they disappear. So you, if you want to inspect such elements, in that case you want to start your debugger like after 5 seconds, so then it is fine. Like for an example, if I show you, you click on this debugger and make this element visible, so this you will be able to inspect because the debugger will start after 5 seconds. So here you can inspect. But in some cases, like for an example, if you are on Twitter website, so you see that these bubble loader, but as soon as you try to like if you want to use the debugger here, SelectorsHub debugger, in that case, let's say if we click on this and refresh this page, so debugger will like execute, it will not be able to stop that element because we have refreshed the page. After clicking on the debugger, we are not allowed to refresh the page. So in this case, what we want to immediately start the debugger, so we want to change the time. So here you can click on the customize and you can make this, let's say 0, so immediately you can start. So you have this option to change to change the start time of the debugger. Now if we go back here and we refresh the page, keep your cursor here on the debugger and refresh the page. As soon as you see the bubble loader here, you click on that debugger, and now you see that we will be able to inspect these bubble loader here. You see that, and SelectorsHub is generating the selectors, XPath, whatever is possible for those elements. So this is how you can change the debugger time as well under customize setting. And once you are done, you can just refresh the page and debugger will execute. So these are the customizations available. Now here you also have the system info. So you see that by default there is no system information, it is not showing, like what is the OS version, what is the browser version, which browser we are doing. So if you want to see those information, you can check in this, and now you see that here you will see that what is my OS, it is a Mac, so OS X, it is showing what is the version, on which browser I am doing, Chrome, 120, resolution of my system, and the time. So you will be seeing these information always there in the footer of SelectorsHub. So this also helps you to like get the information immediately, like you need not to go and check here what is the Chrome version and all. So if that ever required for you, in that case you can keep it checked. So you will be always having this information upfront with you. So that is option available. Like if you, by default it might be by default it will be unchecked for you. If you want, you can check it. So these are the customization settings options available here in SelectorsHub free version. Both here, like if you close this so here also you will find the same options available, so that you can do here. Okay, now coming back to the pro version. So pro version get like little more advanced feature there in the SelectorsHub. So suppose we go to pro version here. Now you see that whatever we were having there, so here we have the customized UI option here, while in free version you were having that option of customized UI here. So basically like it has a better UI, better visibility here, so you have this option. Same it goes in here in the side panel as well, you have this. So let me just expand it. So you will have this customized UI option here. And then the very first feature that yes, you can like you can uncheck any of the selector which you don't want to see in the UI. So like here you see that relative CSS selector, relative XPath. It also shows you the playwright selector if you inspect any element, and if that will be having a playwright selector special that is just supported by playwright, that also you will see here. So those options are available. You can scroll down here and see all the possible selectors. Now let us go here under customize, and you can also do these settings same thing in the dev tools. I'm showing here in the side panel. For one I have showed you guys in the dev tools, another I'm showing here in side panel. All the options are available both in side panel and the dev tools version 1. Now here anything which you don't want to see, just uncheck and that will not be visible. Let's say these all things we don't want to see, so these things will not be available in the UI. Now if you will inspect any element, only those selectors you will have which will be available and which you have selected. So under customize, whichever selectors we have selected, only those will show if those are available for that particular element, for that inspected element here. Okay, now what is extra here is this which you might not be available. Customization is this, that you can, like let's say I'm using the playwright and I always want to see the playwright selector on the top. So in that case you can rearrange the order of selectors in the pro version. This is the advanced feature which is just available in the pro version. So here if you want to change anything, any priority, like you want to always keep the ID on the top, and then let's say playwright selector, then CSS selector, then relative XPath, then class name. So this you can change the order. Next time when you will open SelectorsHub Pro, it will open with your setting. So like if you will inspect element and those selectors will be available, it will show in your order what you want, what you have set last time. So that option is available here in SelectorsHub Pro. Rest you have the same options like auto suggestion while typing. If you don't want to see the auto suggestion while typing, that you can hide from here. Like you just uncheck, and now if you will type here, you will not see those auto suggestion while typing. Similarly, like if you go here, if you don't want to see those auto generated selectors, that also you can hide from here. Then you have the case insensitive button. If that you don't want to see here, like case insensitive button, this one here. So if you don't want to see that, also you can hide. So those options are available like I showed you guys in free version. Here you have one extra option like expand selectors block. So like let's say for an example, we are generating all these XPath selectors, whatever is possible, we are generating everything for an example. Okay, now we go back here inspect any element. So you see that by default you will be seeing 5-6 selectors here, and then you have to scroll down to see all of them, right? If you want to see all of them together without any scroll and you want to see upfront, so that option here is available, and you just click on this expand selectors block. Now if you go back here and if you will inspect any element, and in fact now you can see that all of them are visible here. So if you inspect any element, whatever selectors will be available for that particular element, everything will be visible upfront. You need not to scroll, so you will have a better visibility here. So that's the advantage in the pro version, that you can see this. Then here we have also added one really great feature, multi inspector. So you see that in pro version here we have this our own inspector which you select with that you can inspect multiple elements together, because you see that in DevTools or in the free version you might have noticed that we have this selector. If we inspect any element, after inspecting here, the inspector got disabled. It is something exactly similar like DevTools. Like in DevTools, you can, once you select this inspector, then inspect the element that got disabled right after that. Okay, same way, like if you have the free version, sorry, pro version, here you inspect one element. After this also you can, e- even now also you can inspect another element. The debugger sorry, the inspector will not get disabled here, right? So we are able to inspect as many elements as we want. So this is the advantage in many situations. Like let's say you are generating the page object model, so here you see that you just keep on inspecting element one by one, and you see that multiple xpath selectors we are able to generate just like this in few seconds. Similarly, like if you are generating the access based xpath, suppose you want to generate xpath for enter email with respect to user email label, you can just quickly do that, right? Just inspect first parent element, then child element, and the xpath is generated. Relative xpath, access based xpath. So this was the advantage of having inspector always on. But in some situations you might not want to get like keep this active always after one selected this. So we were having this feature that you at any point of time you don't want to keep it active, just right click and it will get deactivated, or you just click on this button, right? But still, like if you just want like that, this way, that if you inspected one element, after that automatically it should get disabled. So for that we have added the option. Now under customize, you go here, multi selector, uncheck this, and now you will see that it will work same like as a DevTools one or the free version one. You select this, inspect the element, and now you will see that it got automatically deactivated. You inspect any element, it get, sorry, it got clicked. You just inspect any element and it will get deactivated. Same way if you are using here, so settings, like whatever settings if you will do in the DevTools or here, those get automatically will be applied here in the side panel as well as in the DevTools panel one. So now if you inspect here, you will notice that this inspector got deactivated immediately because we have unchecked that. And here this is the debugger start time. This also you can change in the pro version as well. So these are the amazing options, customization options are available in the pro version and the free version. In the pro version you get the option of extra option of like multi inspector, expand selectors block, as well as you can rearrange the order of selectors like this. And at any point of time you want to reset to the default, there's a reset button here in the pro version as well as in the free version. There will be reset button, so if you want to reset everything, it will be reset to by default. So these are the amazing options are available in free version and the pro version. Both I have showed you guys. I'm sure like you are enjoying and using the best use, making the best use of SelectorsHub and SelectorsHub Pro. If you have any question, any suggestion, do let us know in the comment section. And also there's an amazing feature, quick tip, that you can also copy the selectors value right from the context menu for any element. You see that in the free version you get like this. In the pro version, in fact, you can see the value as well right from here. Just click on the value and the value will be copied. So this is a tip for you guys. And right now we are giving an amazing offer on SelectorsHub Pro version as well as another tool on Test Case Studio Pro as well. You can get the lifetime pro access just in $99, and this offer will be ending I guess tomorrow, 31st of December 2023. So if you are watching this video, you can just go and grab this offer. Here under products, go to SelectorsHub Pro. Here you will get steps to get started with SelectorsHub Pro version, and you can just get the this subscription as well. You can get all the details on. With that, thank you so much. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also check out these awesome informative videos and keep watching more videos on SelectorsHub channel. Thank you.